Okie dokie. Live streaming once again. Today we actually have a different schedule. Let me just move the microphone. I forgot to do that before I forgot to do that before I hit the stream button today. That's extremely professional of myself. There we go. Alright. We're officially ready to stream. Let's see if we can actually see a stream. We can't see a stream, but that is perfectly fine with me. Here's the mute button. I've hit that. Now I'll be able to hear myself as soon as the video kicks in. Let's go ahead and see if we can't find somebody. We actually don't have any viewers at this time, but that is entirely fine with me. Let's go ahead and post the link to people. This is what you have to do in the early stages of being a streamer. So let's go ahead and paste into this chat. And today we're on a bit of a tight schedule. So we're just going to paste the stream. And that's my latest stream, streaming now. Let's see here. My live stream continues. Hit that and paste. That's exactly what it's going to look like from here on. So we're going to say cut. Get rid of that. And we'll paste that to other people. They're going to be slightly annoyed, but that is entirely fine with me. No one ever said that they had to approve of what I send to anybody. Clayton. Let's paste that to him. Send. And to her. Paste. Send. Get rid of that chat. Sure, why not? Once I have finished doing this process, which I really should do before the stream, but I am a little bit crunched for time. Let's see here. We will go ahead and send this one to him too. I literally don't care at all who has the link. There we go. I don't know who the last person I sent that to was. Let's see if I sent it to her. I don't think I did. Let's send that to her. Who is left? Who is left? Who is left? You're on, so you're getting one. And then Tyler, you're getting one. Nate, send. And that is everybody. Everybody who is available on the nearest thing. So let's go ahead and look back and see who actually showed up. It looks like somebody may or may not be watching, so I'm glad you showed up. Let's go into Blender and begin the live stream because we don't have a lot of time, as I said. So we're going to end this at what appears to be 9 o'clock. Or, well, closer to 8:40. Something around there. It is basically going to end when the thing tells me I've been streaming for 1 full hour. So, let's begin our wonderful little Blender model here. We are making a robot. If anybody has not followed this so far, we are making a robot. We are currently going to model the legs. Now, as you can see, we have one arm. We're going to duplicate that arm later on in the stream, so we won't even worry about modeling the right arm, which is left in our view here. And we are going to be modeling the left leg, which is going to be right in our view. We'll be duplicating that in the exact same manner that we're duplicating the arms. Why are we duplicating it this way? Because if we have the panels and we want to adjust them, move them up and down like this, we have to make them in a certain way. If we don't make them in that specific manner, then we do not get them with the local orientation flipped the way they are, so it will not be exactly as neat as we want it to be. What we're going to do later, after we've got these panels created, is we're going to put a whole bunch of beams and wires going through here, and that's going to make it look like a hydraulically wired robot, and it's going to look detailed, and it's going to look awesome and sexy. Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go down here, and we're going to start working on those legs we just talked about. So I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to snap our cursor. That I just duplicated, okay. Let's not duplicate, and we're going to snap our cursor back to the center of the domain location 3D space world thing, and we're going to create yet another cube. Hello, cube. Now we're going to move this cube to the right and scale it down in edit mode. That is the wrong pivot point. Let's go ahead and adjust our pivot point back to our average by hitting Command comma like we just did, and we're going to scale the cube back down like we just did. Now we're going to zoom in just a little bit, and the hips are actually going to be around this location right here. It's going to basically go like that, and that's about where the hip is going to land. So we're going to move this guy down on Z about here, and that's going to be our thigh panel. And we're going to go in top view here in orthographic like we were just in. And we're going to zoom in specifically on our cube, and that is how we're going to get the location for our cube. We are now going to create the panels the same way we did with the arms. And for those of you who didn't see that, we're going to basically just divide it into 4 like this. Get rid of these vertices here, and these vertices here. Vertices. There we go. And we're going to add a solidify modifier, and that is going to make it a little bit thicker. Did it keep the same? No, it did not keep the same stats. That's okay. So we're going to say 0.02, because 0.02 is this thickness of the arm panels, which we created earlier over here. See, that's basically 0.02 right there. We just added some details, and it was awesome. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the legs. We're not going to have the exact same details as in the arms. As you can see, the arm panels have these 3 stripes here, and those look nice there, but they're not going to be the same thing down here. If they were, that would be extremely boring, and we would have no reason to live. So we're going to scale that up on Z here to fit the length of the thighs. And I am getting attention on Facebook, so I'm going to check our chat. We have, what is this, 0.5? I don't know what that means. I think we had more viewers a second ago. Let's look at Facebook and see if anybody has responded. Only one person has responded. That is Corey from the other day. Do you know how to copy and paste into Krita? I do not. Let's tell them. The controls on a PC will likely be, quote, Control plus C /V. comma, however, to be sure of this, go to edit and check for copy and for paste, and it should tell you the controls. Alternatively, you should be able to click copy / paste in the edit tab, and it will do the function. There we go. We did our little bit of computer help. Things that everybody already knows, but whatever. Let me see here. We still have a single viewer. I don't think we really have any more viewers. Let me look here at 7 o'clock. The thing is still moving. Alright. It's going to be fun when the stream actually catches up to this. So, let's go back into here and see if people want to... Wait a minute. I forgot to let other people know that I'm streaming. Let's let other people know that I'm streaming. They don't... Here we go. By the way, whoops, BTW, I'm streaming again. You should join V. And let's tell other people I'm streaming too. So, there we go, and... Who's that? Actually, let's just put it there. They're both gonna see then. And let's go back into Blender OBS there and Blender here. And we are back to our actual model. What we actually came here to do in the first place. So, what is this? Okay, cool. Alright, back to modeling. So what we're going to do now is we're going to adjust our wonderful little leg here the same way we did last time. So we're going to go ahead and snap our cursor to selected, and we are going to grab our, no, not that, that's not what we wanted to do. Let's snap that back to, sorry, the reason that keeps happening is because I just got a new trackpad for this exact purpose, what we're doing now. But the problem is I'm very not used to the two-finger touch sensitivity on it. I'm used to, being able to barely touch it. But now you actually have to have both fingers firmly planted for it to even register your double clicking. So that's the problem. The 3D cursor doesn't realize I'm selecting stuff. So we're going to try and select this. I said select this. Dang thing, why is it not selecting? It should be selecting. Does it think I'm trying? Okay, we're in the wrong mode. That's the problem. Let's go ahead and... Arg, I hate you. Move that back there, and select, and select, select, and select. Now we have all four of those selected. We're going to make sure the 3D cursor is our pivot point and scale everything on not Z by hitting Shift Z after we hit scale. Who is responding on... Okay, that is wonderful. Let's see here. I'll join, but Dad dragged me to watch The Great Down. I don't know what that is, but okie dokie. By the way, I'm only streaming for an hour. That is the general idea anyway, but today I have to be somewhere at 9. There we go. Let's go back there, and let's go back to Blender, where we are going to continue our 3D model. This panel, so what we're going to do here is we're going to hit V on these like we did on the arm. So V, and that did not select it the same way as before, but that is entirely okay because we're going to add those loops that we added before. So loop cut there, and we're going to delete these faces over here. So let's delete those faces over here, this face and this face here. And we're going to delete these faces, and that's going to make it look a little bit prettier because now it's all over there. We are not going to do what we did on the arm panels, even though it looks like we're doing that. But, yeah, we're going to do something different. I just don't exactly know what yet, but we'll figure it out along the way. So the first thing I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to add we're gonna add our border areas on these first. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add 2 cuts there, and 2 cuts there, and 2 cuts there. Now that I got all of those, I'm going to, go back into 5, and we're going to select our vertices because we don't want to select the edges because that's going to select all of these edges, and we just want to select these vertices in this little box area, not all of these edges up here, and these edges up here, and these edges up here, and these edges here, and here, and here. No, we just want to select these 2 edge loops across these 3 objects. So what we're going to do now is we're going to scale all of these on only Z so that we can get an even border like we didn't get upstairs from here. And we have more responses on phone. What responses do we have on phone? I'll try to make it and ask Dad if I can watch next episode tomorrow or something. I will let her know it is fine if she is busy. It is fine if you are busy. Spend quality time with your dad, you can miss a stream. It is okay. Let's get back to OBS so we can monitor the stream and back into Blender. Let's actually check the chat real fast because I don't think there's a whole lot of people there. Oh, there are people there. Hello. Hello, Tyler, and hello, Corey. Person accounted for. What is he doing? We are creating, for those of you just showing up or showing up like 5 minutes ago or whenever you showed up, we are creating the leg. See, look here, we are working on the leg panel because, yeah, we didn't get there last time. And after we get the leg panels in, we are going to go ahead and get hands and feet in, but right now we're working on leg panels. So we're going to make these leg panels look different, as I said earlier. And how we're going to do that is we're not going to put the 3 stripes we have on the arm panels. Oh, right, I entirely forgot we have that elbow panel. The knee panel is going to be basically that, but instead the spike is going to go backwards instead of out. And I think that's going to look pretty cool. I wonder what everybody else thinks about that. Let's look. We see Awesome Sauce there. Okay, cool. I hope she shows up too. And let's monitor the chat real fast to see if anyone joined. No one else joined, but people are having fun. Okay, if you guys want to vote on how anything should look, by the way, I'm open to suggestions. If you think I should do anything specific with the model. So I am entirely open to user input. Also, if you have any questions as to what I'm doing or how I did it, go ahead and let me know. And like I said, I will check every so often, every few minutes, and go ahead and see what you guys can do or see what you guys want me to tell you how to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue our leg panel here. I have no idea what I want to do to this. Any user input? No user input. So we're going to go ahead and wing it here. I will go ahead and... Oh, right. First off, because we deleted this little section of this face and this little section of this face, as you can see, these kind of look a little lopsided. So we're going to add a couple of extra loops in here to make these scale out nicely. So let's do that. We've got all of those done, and now we're going to select all of those. So select that. Oh, oops, that's an edge loop. Okay, so we'll have to hold Alt to select it. And we'll hit Alt to select that loop. That's the wrong loop. Hit Alt to select that loop. That's the right loop. Hit Alt to select that loop. And now we've got all the loops we want. And is that still the pivot point? That is still the pivot point. Okay, we're going to scale out on everything but Z so that we can get our circular looking thing here. And that looks circular enough. Luckily, we don't actually need it to be circular, but selecting those inner loops later is going to be hell. But that's okay with me. And any user input? No user input. Okie dokie. Let's see if we have any input elsewhere. We have input elsewhere. What kind of input elsewhere? It is Facebook input, and that Facebook input is from that lady. Okay, what does that lady say? That doesn't do anything. Okay, well, I am sorry about the advice for Krita. I guess I don't know how to work Krita, but that's primarily because I don't work Krita. I found another person to send this to, so I'm going to send this to them to enter, and we're going back to Blender now. So back to the Blender. What do we have on Blender? Oh wait, I forgot to move back to the chat. How am I supposed to monitor the chat? There we go. So we're going to scratch our ear, and we're going to check our time, and the time says we've been streaming for 21 minutes. That is wonderful. Remember, guys, when this hits an hour, we are going to call it a wrap. Because, again, I have places to be. I actually have to be in another city, town, place, out of town, actually, is the right phrasing for that. I have to be out of town to clean a place at around 9:30, which is probably not going to be exactly on time, but that is okay with me. Hi, let's get back to what I'm doing. So, I should bring water when I do this stuff. Oh, look, a bottle of water right over there. But, yeah. That is much better. Last time my voice got a little hoarse toward the end. That's how come I got a little de-energized. So, yeah, it kind of sucked. This whole streaming process actually has kind of sucked because the whole getting into it process is frustrating. I will talk more about that after I can get back into the flow of this here. But right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to... So what I want to do this time is, unlike before, see up here, we don't have really a whole lot of detail up there. So what we're going to do down here is we're going to put some detail going in the opposite direction of the detail in the arms. That way they look a little bit different. So what we're going to do down here is we're going to grab the middle area of each of these panels, and we're going to pull it out. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to add an edge loop here and an edge loop here, and we're going to not drag that out just yet because I realize what that's going to do. That is going to ruin the thickness, and I'm going to punch people if that happens. Not literally, don't punch people. Punching people is for anger management problems, and those people need to go into anger management. And yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to well, I guess it's about time we go ahead and apply what we have here, because we don't really need to do a whole lot more. Do we? What happens if we actually try to do... Yeah, let's go ahead and select these faces on the bottom loops and other loops. Boink, boink. boinkity boinkers between the, I guess, and boinkers. Oh, and one more. Nah. No, whoa, that is the wrong loop. That's it, that loop. There we go. Now, if we extrude that and then scale it on not Z, what happens? That is actually exactly what we wanted to happen, so I am going to do that. And then I will go ahead and, oh, that's not what we wanted to happen. Never mind. Okay, so guys, that's what happens when you put a solidify modifier in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to undo that and undo that. And in the other hand, next step, that's the word we're looking for. In the next step, we're going to go ahead and go back into object mode and apply our solidify modifier. Solidify modifier is then going to register that we have beautiful geometry, and we're going to have to deselect the faces in the back, so we're going to go ahead and hit 7 and 5. No, wait, we're not going to hit 5 because that will give us funny looking things, and that will make it extremely difficult for us to do what we're about to do, which is deselect stuff. So we're going to deselect everything on the back or inside area, whatever you want to call it. Either way, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Who's going to get hurt? Not me, not you, because hurt is not good. Now we're going to get rid of that little thing there, and now that we're out of circle select and we have these guys all selected, oh, right. Now we did that. That is unfortunate. So we're going to go back into face select mode and go into 5, and we are going to deselect everything in the middle. Wonderful. Now that we have deselected everything in the middle, we're going to zoom back out, and we're going to extrude and scale on not Z. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us that thickness that we have way up here on our arms, but it's a little bit too thick, so we're going to go ahead and scale back down on not Z. And the way we did that, by the way, was with Shift Z. And we're going to check the chat because we haven't done that in a while. So what does the chat say? The chat says, so you won't be in class tomorrow? What do you mean? Why would I not be in class tomorrow? Let's go back to my phone because I'm getting text messages and nothing from Facebook, so that's good. Text messages are telling me, but I want to be there, and but I want to be there for your stream. You meant okay. Apparently I mean more to people than their TV shows. That is wonderful to hear. But I probably need to tell them that it's not the show that they should be worried about. It is not the show you should be worried about. It is not the show we should be worried about. I just think you should spend time with your dad. There we go, and hey, I have 3 watchers. That is wonderful. Wonderful to see you people. Okay, so back into OBS and Blender so I can monitor the stream and whatnot. So into Blender and 3D modeling. What we're going to do here is we are going to... Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit 7 and 5, and we're going to go back into vertice mode. And when we go into our vertice mode, we are going to select... we're going to go ahead and select these vertices here, and these vertices down here. And then we're going to deselect this vertice up here, or this vertex up here. Let's do that there. There we go. That's exactly what we wanted to do. And yeah, let's just make sure we don't... No, we need that one selected too, don't we? Okay, then I guess we'll have that one selected. And then we're going to get rid of this. And that's going to let us grab and move all of that way out. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to move all of that out on Z. And... That looks fine, but I think we need to make these a little, we need to add a little bit of curvature to that, don't we? So let's go ahead and add that curvature that we just mentioned. That right there looks fine, but the curvature we're going to add is going to be from top menu, or top view. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab those, and that is going to be wonderful. And what we're going to do is we're going to move all of that back just a tad. And that looks wonderful. Let's see how that looks outside of that mode. First thing we're going to do is we're going to give that a material so that it has the same brightness as everything else. And as you can see now, it's got the same brightness as the rest of our robot. We're going to check the chat one more time. Oh, okay, it's over there. Let's do that. The chat says nothing particularly new. Okay, let's go check text messages because people are responding. You know what, let's stop getting in the face of the microphone like that. Yeah. Okay. You're getting responses from Facebook and from text messages. Get rid of that. And alright, so Facebook response says absolutely nothing new. Okay. And the text messages, that is the wrong text message. Text messages say keep watching show. Okay, understand. Blah blah blah. Okay. That is fine. I guess I should tell the person, do what you want. I just don't wanna interrupt. Interrupt family time. I should probably stop telling you guys exactly what's going on my texting, but I'm probably going to continue talking while I type. So what we're going to do now is we're going back into Blender and we're going to continue making our cool little arches. But before we continue our arches, what I want to do is I want to turn this into smooth view, and that looks like total garbage. But it's going to look wonderful once we hit this little object data tab up here like I just did. And I just realized you guys cannot see my cursor, but that is okay. I'll figure out how to fix that in the distant future. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to hit auto smooth. And that auto smooth is going to add these, try to distinguish angles to give us a little bit cooler detail here. And because we're doing that, we're going to adjust this angle until it looks the way we want it to look. Now, if we add it like that, we got that fixed up. But, you know what? Actually, that looks pretty nice. We're going to leave it like that because that looks really, really cool. So what we're going to do next is we're going to give the same angle on the side panels there. We're going to hit 5, and we're going to grab that there. I really don't know how to do this the way I want to do it. I'm hoping that what I'm about to do is going to work, but it's probably going to make things a little bit funky shaped, and I'll probably regret it. But I don't really totally care, so what we're going to do is we are going to deselect this vertex up here, and this vertex up here, and this vertex down here, and this vertex down here. I hope I deselected all the correct vertices. I deselected most of the correct vertices. This vertex down here did not get deselected. Let's see if we got the rest of the vertices we wanted. We have everything selected, I think, that I want selected. So what we're going to do from there is we're going to scale those out on not Z. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us that same... Whoa. What just happened there? Somehow that didn't hit the degree I wanted it to hit. So, now that I've got that scaled out to the point I want, and that actually did not do as horribly as I thought it was going to do. Wonderful. So now we're going to add this guy here, and we're going to add this guy here. There. Now that we're, see, what we're going to do is add these loop cuts here, and those loop cuts are going to, the loop cuts I'm adding are going to, the loop cuts I'm adding here are going to allow me to give the curvature I got on the other guy. And we're going to try to get the curvature at the same angle. But to do that, again, we're going to have to deselect these inner guys here and these inner guys here. Probably these guys too, because those guys are going to cause some problems if we don't. I hope that's not deselecting those inner loops there. That's really not. That's wonderful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to scale everything on not Z again. You guessed it. And that's going to give us the curvature that we wanted. And, well, if I did it right, it will. And I did do it right, so now we've got that curvature I was talking about. And we really don't have enough detail on these leg panels, so we're going to add several cuts. Let's go ahead and add our cuts. How many cuts? We're going to add these 3 cuts, because those 3 cuts, what we're going to do with those 3 cuts, actually we're going to make it 2 cuts. We're going to add 3 little indentions into each of these on both sides of our ridge. So let's go ahead and do that. R2 D2, ha ha ha. That's a terrible joke. I'm sorry. That is a crime to Star Wars. My apologies, Star Wars. So now we've got those, and what we're going to do next is we're going to hit face select mode. There's a whole lot of boring going on with what I'm saying, isn't there? I apologize for being a tad bit boring, but I hope you can all forgive me on that one. So essentially what we're going to... you know what? I bet I can get away with, selecting all of these, hitting inset, and that's going to make it, that's going to give us a cool little thing, and that's going to be wonderful. So the reason it sucked, the process of actually getting to, getting to the live streaming sucked is because essentially I got some new equipment and I'm live streaming from my television, and the process of doing that, the process of setting all of that up was excruciating. I bought some new equipment so that would be easier to do, but the equipment is an Apple, I'm using Apple, by the way, not a PC, so anyone who thinks I'm going to have multiple windows up in Blender is mistaken, because that doesn't function. I just got an Apple wireless keyboard, wireless trackpad, and I've had a wireless numpad for a long time now. And I tried to link them together to give myself some remote access and use my television set as a gigantic monitor. But the problem with that setup is that I didn't manage to... the problem with that setup is apparently the wireless trackpad likes to use the feet to click instead of using the... What did I just click? Let's undo... Wait, did I select... Oh, I did not inset the back. I just have that back selected. Let's unselect that back and select that front. There we go. The the trackpad likes to use the feet to click, and the reason that's a problem is because for that to work, you have to have a platform, which I have very few of in my house. And if I want it to work correctly, and let's go ahead and scale on, not Z. And that's done. And that looks wonderful. That is some great detail. I think it's some great detail. I hope you all agree that that is some great detail. I don't think it needs a whole lot more treatment, and if you agree with me, then wonderful. What we're gonna do is the reason it sucks that the trackpad uses its feet to click is because the trackpad using its feet to click requires a platform, and that platform requires me taking a shelf apart and putting my computer equipment on it and sitting in my computer chair and sitting all that in my lap. And that is an okay setup, but that is an annoying thing to move all the time. What I need to do is I need to set a little extension onto my chair and make that extension a little keyboard mount. If I do that, it'll be kind of like in cartoons. That's going to be wonderful. The idea behind it is that I won't have to do a whole lot of worrying about moving stuff a whole lot. So now that we have that, we're going to duplicate that because it doesn't need a whole lot of attention. And once we've duplicated that, we're going to scale all of that up on Z. Not from there though. We're going to snap our cursor actually to the center and change our pivot point back to our object using Control Comma and scale this up on Z a little bit. Grab that downward and probably do the same thing to this guy because he's looking a little bit short. Scale that up on Z and move that downward. And we're going to move this downward again. But that's going to be a wonderful setup in the end because if I get that platform, if I get that keyboard mount attached to my chair, then I can just kind of move it out of the way or put it back on, and it'll be a wonderful place to put my brand new equipment, which I have very little room for. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cheat. We're going to snap our cursor to between these two. Oh, crap. Right. So what we're going to do with you, we're going to have to undo a couple of things here. Okay, there we go. So we're going to scale that up on Z like we did before. And then we're going to drag it down inside of object mode instead of outside of edit mode in object mode. And we're going to do the same to this guy. And we're going to grab that down. And this guy's going to go down a little bit too, and that way we can make room for our kneecap. So that's going to be a nicely sized arm, or leg, in relative to the arm. We're going to add, before we add our knee, we're going to go ahead and select where we would have our hip in our 3D, using our 3D cursor. And then we're going to slap it over here too, to be between those. And that way we can actually select both of those, and we're going to change our pivot point back to 3D cursor with our period button on the keyboard and rotate the whole thing forward just a tad so that we've got a bit of a bend in the leg so that our robot, has knees and the knees don't bend like stupid. This is important when getting into the rigging, which we will eventually do. Now that we have that, we're going to select that point, and select that object and do the exact same thing. And that's going to give us, again, a nice little bend in the knees. As you can see, it's starting to look like a character model, which is exactly what we want. But now we're going to have to go ahead and give our robot a kneecap because we need a kneecap. So to do that, we're actually going to cheat. We're going to select our elbow cap, and this is why we did our elbow cap the way we did, because now that we got that going on, we can duplicate that. Oops. We're going to duplicate that. There we go. Duplicate. And we're going to snap him to the cursor. Selection to cursor, please. Thank you. Now we're going to Alt rotate, and that's going to clear out the rotation. We're going to use our period on the numpad to zoom into our selection, and we're going to rotate on X, real X, wonderful, and we're going to rotate that on 90 degrees. Since that rotated in the right direction, we're just going to leave it that way, and we're going to grab that on double Z and move that to where the kneecap would be. There you go. Now we have a wonderful leg, and we don't even have to put in a foot. We're actually going to take care of hands and feet next round. So, yeah, that is going to be wonderful. But we have kneecaps, and I think that kneecap is a little bit too far out, so we're going to put it there. Snap this back to the center, and there we have it. Now we... let's go ahead and border select our body here so that we can hit the period button, zoom back out, and to default view. That is what we want this to look like. This is this is a complete leg. Our arm is complete. Next time we will do our hand and foot. If we have time to get to the foot, we're going to start with the hand. But it was wonderful live streaming with everybody for this BALM. And hey, we actually finished a BALM with 3 people. That is wonderful. Don't forget to share this BALM. Don't forget to share future BALMs. Don't forget to tell more people about the BALMs. Subscribe, like the video. And, of course, have a wonderful night. I will see you in future BALMs, hopefully. And Tyler, don't forget to get back to me on that whole thing about why I would not be at school tomorrow. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. Have a wonderful night, people, and I have places to be in literally 30 minutes. So, bye-bye. I'm going to have some snackage, and there was a thing. Right, I am going to link you guys back to my Facebook.